Things are about to get real messy in this finale from Ignition Press. So let's talk about that in this video. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. This is a very specific kind of thriller that feels almost dangerous just by existing. It is stylish, seductive, a little messy, a little toxic, and constantly escalating tension until everything finally explodes. That is the exact energy that we're getting from Voyeur from Ignition Press. This week, the fifth issue comes out that wraps up the miniseries, so I'm doing a full review of the whole series. And honestly, this book knows exactly what kind of story that it wants to be. It is sexy, manipulative, mysterious, but underneath all of that, there's still genuinely engaging thriller with a surprisingly strong emotional core. This is written by Leah Williams with art by David Baldeón. This five-issue miniseries feels like a fusion between White Lotus, Ocean's 11, and a classic Hitchcock suspense story, all filtered through this modern creator comics. I really like that the creator-owned nature of this project actually matters because you can feel the team pushing the boundaries, not just with the premise, but with the tone, the atmosphere, character intimacy, visual storytelling, and honestly, that freedom gives the entire series just a unique energy. You can check out my review for issue number 1 in the channel as well, but this is a full review for the whole series, and I won't go too deep into any spoilers, but there's going to be some things that I do need to talk about. Let's talk about the premise. The setup is fantastic. Rook works a security at the luxurious Kingfisher Resort, which means that he sees everything. Every camera feed, every guest, every secret. And while the guest thinks that they're escaping into a reality paradise, Rook is actually watching, studying, and planning because secretly he's stealing the resort's priceless artwork and replacing it with forgeries. Already a great premise, even if it was just that. But then Madeline arrives. The moment she realizes that Rook is spying on her, the story changes completely because instead of exposing him, she wants in. That's the hook. From there, the book becomes this escalating mix of romance, manipulation, heist, storytelling, emotional baggage, and danger. It all really works. The chemistry between the main characters. This book works because the central dynamic works. Without that chemistry, a story like this completely just falls apart. But Rook and Madeline are compelling together immediately. There's an attraction, suspicion, a power imbalance, curiosity, and eventually genuinely emotional vulnerability. That tension keeps evolving all throughout the series. Sometimes it's romantic, sometimes it's dangerous, sometimes both simultaneously. I think Leo Williams does a great job making the relationship feel layered instead of purely fantasy driven. These are flawed individuals. They're lonely people. People are just trying to reinvent themselves, and that makes the escalating intimacy feel a lot more earned in the series. Now, what surprised me the most is how much the story continues to evolve. At first, it feels just like this stylish voyeuristic thriller. Then the heist elements kick in, and then the emotional complications start escalating. Then the ghosts of the past start catching up with both of them, and suddenly the tension becomes very real. That escalation is very important because the series never feels stagnant. Every issue raises the stakes somehow, emotionally, criminally, romantically, and by the final issue, there's real pressure surrounding every single decision. Do they choose love, freedom, money? Can they have it all? Can they realistically escape their past? That tension carries all the way through the finale, and thankfully, the ending truly lands for me. Uh, this absolutely just feels like a cool creator-owned comic book in the best way because there's a lot of confidence here. Not only had the team already worked together before, which definitely helps out a lot, but the book embraces a lot of different things like intimacy. There's sexual tension here. There's some morally messy characters, long conversation, atmospheric pacing, and not every publisher would allow this exact tone to exist comfortably. That freedom allows the series to breathe. It feels mature without trying too hard to be edgy, and most importantly, it feels very character focused at first, not exploitative, but that balance to me, I think it matters for a premise like this. Visually, the series is gorgeous. Baldeón brings such an inviting style to the book. The line work is incredibly clean. Characters are expressive. The body language truly matters. The facial expressions are really, really part of the core. And this story, built around attraction, tension, and reading people, all that stuff, all those things are critical. But the environments are equally important. The tropical resort setting feels beautiful, warm, luxurious, almost dreamlike. And that contrast also really matters and adds a lot to the book, because underneath all that beauty is the manipulation, the theft, the grief, and the danger that we're seeing through the story. That visual contradiction gives the book a lot of personality. The colors to me really sell this atmosphere because they're bright, they're vibrant, they're bold. This series feels alive visually. The tropical landscape just pop off the page. Sunsets, ocean views, nightlife, luxury interiors, all of it feels very picturesque, and that visual beauty makes the darker turns of the story hit harder because paradise slowly starts to feel claustrophobic. The art communicates that shift very well. If you enjoy stories where wealthy people's secrets, manipulation, and danger slowly spiral together, this is absolutely worth your time. The White Lotus comparison honestly truly fits very well. Not because the stories are identical, but because both understand tension beneath the luxury. People pretending to be someone else, people escaping, people unraveling. That energy is all over this book. One thing I truly appreciate, though, is that the story actually lands the ending. Now, not everything is tied up perfectly, right? Not everything, not every little thread is wrapped up. But emotionally, the conclusion works for me. The tension pays off, the choices actually matter, and the series leaves just enough room for maybe future series if the creative team ever wants to revisit some of this story, which honestly, I would absolutely read. I love this team and I love this series. Voyeur is one of the most interesting creator-owned comics that I've read recently. It's stylish, it's risque, it's suspenseful, it's emotionally messy, and it's visually truly beautiful. Leah Williams and David Baldeón created a thriller that consistently evolves while keeping the character dynamics front and center. By the end, I was completely invested in whether these two people could actually survive the chaos that they have created together. If you're into thrillers, romance with danger, heist stories, or books, or even like White Lotus, this is absolutely worth checking out. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. It truly helps support the channel and keeps comic reviews like this coming every week. And I want to ask you, what makes a thriller work for you? The mystery itself or the chemistry between the characters? Let me know down in the comments. And thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see y'all on the next one. Bye bye.